Well, hello everyone. I want to thank you for joining me for the at the week ahead for the 8th to the 12th of February 2021. I'm Steve Reisner, and I'm an ex-U.S. Air Force fighter pilot with master's degrees in both computers and business, and active trader since '98, full-time since 2009. I focus on technical trading, but I do use some limited fundamentals. I moderate for H&R Candlesticks from time to time, and I do provide one-on-one mentoring. Stick around till the end of the presentation. I will have three special offers for you. We have Hit and Run Candlesticks, which is run by Rick Sadler, Right Way Options, run by Doug Campbell, and the LTA Scanner, which is the brainchild of Ed Carter. I'll tell you more about those later on. The agenda, we're going to do a little lesson of the week. The economic calendar is not out yet. I'm just going to go ahead and publish it. However, I'll show you where you can get it. Earnings calendar, market overview. I'm going to do a review of the results from the trade ideas from last week, trade ideas for this week, and obviously the special offers. Why trade earnings in the lesson of the week? Well, earnings are often a catalyst for a major move. And as our long departed friend, Goofy Golfer, used to say, it's not about the numbers, it's about how the stock reacts to the numbers. So you may think it's good or bad earnings. That's irrelevant. It's what the market thinks and what the market actually does with it. So if you have a reversal after a down move or a reversal back up or down after an up move, the earnings will just basically could signal the beginning of an upside reversal, like a J-hook or whatever, or on the downside, after an up move, could be a topping pattern or an inverted J-hook. These moves, a lot of times, are very good in a short term, day trade. A lot of people look at that, or in a longer term, and I'll show you how we do that. How to identify the best trade ideas? Yeah, I'm all ears, Steve. Scan the earnings list. I use my earnings as number 1, number 2, and number 3. Look at the stocks that are earning. Look at them pre-market. They are pre-filtered for average daily volume, so I take out the little ones, so just basically the bigger ones. The most likely candidates for the big move are those with high short interest, relatively high short interest, and I'm going to cover that a little bit in the next slide. And kind of the do's and don'ts is do not trade in pre or post market because of volatility and lack of liquidity. There are lots of wild swings and reversals during conference calls, either after the close or pre-market. And the big boys, they normally trade during regular hours or off exchange, so you won't really have the good liquidity unless you stay during regular trading hours, and you won't miss much. Use 5-minute opening range to proof the move we see is real and not just a fake out. Okay, let's go here. All right, high short interest. What do I use? I use the float, I don't use the ratio, and I don't use the number of days to cover or whatever. Those were old time numbers. Now we actually have one that's a lot better, the float. That's the number of shares that are out floating around in the marketplace. Not the ones that are tied up, either not been issued yet by the company or the like. That's a key factor in trading earnings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch to see if the shorts are forced to cover and add fuel to the fire. What's high? High's relative, but if you get 10% or better, it's significant. The higher the better, unless it starts to get extravagant. But then that can work in your favor as well. There are two places to find high short interest stocks. One on Finvis, either one by one or by a group, and the short squeeze. And I'm going to do one stock at a time. I'm going to show you how to do this in a group on Finvis. So earnings do's and don'ts we talked about. Do not try to predict earnings. Wait for the announcement. Only trade earnings in the after hours or pre-market to take profits. Exposure to rapid reversal and limited access to markets is the reason why I don't do that. And you can see right in here, the company that reported here was Align, and it moved up sharply after reporting, and that was after the bell, and then suddenly the conference call started and it went south. You would be having to chase this one with a limit order. You couldn't do a market order, and you might not get filled. The other problem is that the limited access to markets, more than likely you're only trading against your own broker. So therefore, people that are trading within your own brokerage is the only ones that are going to be. You're not going to be against the entire market. So you don't want to be in there if you can. How I monitor the earnings and the pre-market movers. So I copied the list over to the LTA scanner. Or I could use an LTA master universe so that I put out there of either high options or high short interest or whatever. But let the scanner confirm earnings and pre-market moves. Let it do the dirty work for you. And then you just look at the ones that it highlights and you get to analyze them for possible trades before the open. So I would do it about between anytime after about 8 to 8:30. But definitely got to be done by 9:15, 9:20 so I can take a break before the open at 9:30. All right, 5-minute open range. I said we would show you what it will do for us. Well, assuming a gap up and you're wanting to go long, don't just immediately jump into this, but the 5-minute opening range, unless it gets over the top of this and follows through there, I don't want to be in it. It doesn't have enough juice behind it. If it had high short interest, it's probably going to continue to run like a scalded dog to the upside, and we'll be fine. But this one would have prevented us from making a bad entry and going long up here and losing a few shekels. So I've used this quite often, and it quite often saved my bacon by keeping me out of a bad trade. All right, here's the Finvis Scan. I use earnings. You could set it at 5 days this next month or whatever. I set some sort of average volume approaching 1 million, 750 or so. There's really there was 25 on this scan here, with short float over 10% and the price over 5. If I remember right, when I put 1 million, it only went down to 23. I went down to any country. I went to just US, it went down to 23 instead of 25. So those really don't, the volume, you can set what you want. I wouldn't go much less than 750. You might be able to go down to 500 or so. But I like the higher volumes myself. If I can't find any good candidates, I might loosen that just a fraction down to maybe 500K, but nothing below that. All right, let's look at some recent post-earnings movers. There's 2 of them that I wanted to point out. I'm going to point to one on the right here, which is Save Spirit Airlines. It reported, I think before the bell over here, the market had a bad day on this black candle here, red for some, and then it did a 45-degree mover. So basically, if you moved, got in around 27 and a half or so, you'd be up, because it has high short, it's doing a 45-degree run. It's starting to run out of steam just a little bit here. So I would be taking partial profits and then definitely putting my stop at 29 or so. Aeon Insurance Company, and it reported earnings on Friday. It has about 10% of the float short, and it ran like a scalded dog. And one other thing, let me get my drawing tool here. If you look here, that right there is a pop out of the box. So combining our patterns with the fundamentals and the technicals all together, you could have got in here somewhere around 213 to 214 and ridden it up for at least $10. wouldn't be bad. Economic reports, like I said, are not available at this time, but you can go to econoday.com and then go in and look at their calendars for the week. They should be available sometime on Sunday afternoon or evening, but I'm not going to hold up this video just for that. Here's the most anticipated earnings according to Earnings Whispers. I mean, we've got a lot of them out there. We've got things like, what was I looking at? Nuance after the bell on Monday. We've got Cisco, Fiserv. We've got Government Motors and Coke. Let's see, Eli. Eli's been one that's been on my list for a couple of weeks now. Pepsi, Tyson, Yeti, Kellogg's. And look in here, Datadog, Walt Disney after the close on Thursday. All right, really be interested to see what happens there. All right, let's go look at the market overview real quick. Let me push this one down. And before I start this, I want to go to the longs because I tend to forget this at times. Okay, let's look at the T2122. We need to go to lines. Remember last week when I said there was down here we get a bounce? I had no idea how big the bounce would be or how long it would last. Well, this sure didn't take us very long to get back up here into the pullback zone. Probably 2 days to get up there to 85 to 90% of the stocks are making monthly highs. That's quite a reversal. This basically ran people who were quick to short the market over these last run up to 3 days of pullback or so. Kind of ripped their lips off, so to speak. Let's go to, all right, let's go to crude oil. Crude oil is approaching $58, so way over to the left. We've got a $58 level that we're approaching. My stochastics RSI says we're a little toppy there. And we could go sideways or pull back a little bit, but oil is looking decent for now. Gold, gold's not looking so hot. Let's go to a 6 month here. So, you know, the gold is approaching the low around 1775. See if that holds there. We probably got an anticipatory buy on Friday where people were buying in anticipation getting awfully close to 1779. So they're probably jumping the gun just a fraction. All right, remember last Sunday, this is, let's see, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. This is Monday, the 1st. I was saying that we had 3680 and we needed to watch this area because this is the volume at price level is about 3689. And I had 3680 marked out here with a high volume at price level. And we were stochastics RSI down at the bottom, looked like we might be wanting to curl up. Well, overnight and then pre-market we reversed from down to below 3660 to a pretty nice recovery and then follow through for a couple of 3 days. All right. Dow looks an awful lot like the S&P. We're approaching new highs. NASDAQ barely set a new high on Friday. Russell's been leading the pack here. Why? Well, because a lot of small caps are doing, they're anticipating them doing well again after the COVID-19 issue. Let's see, do I have a 9 month? Yeah, I've got a 9 month here. Yeah, see, this is the 11.2. Let's see if I can back that out a little bit. Oh yeah. So this is May. So yeah, we've been on a tear since November. Pretty nice move. And again, they also had the bottoming motion on Friday and Monday, and then haven't looked back. This is a high. I'd have to look at. Let's see. I want to do this. Give me a moment. I want to look at 2-year daily. Okay, well, it sure looks like we're at all-time highs here, aren't we? Oh, you know what I could do? I could go over here and go to here and look at IWM and look at area chart, and sure enough, we're at all-time highs by quite a bit. We've been on a tear here. Nice. And I did not participate in any of it. Oh, silly boy. Okay, let's look at the VIX. The VIX obviously jumped up quite a bit and then kaboom, right on back down to 20. So this is pretty wild action here, but watch it. Let's see. I don't have the longs and shorts on there, but I've got them actually on here. Let's go look at some of our longs. Now, I've got the brown boxes are kind of a buy box. Abbott Labs, number one. Before we do that, let's go look at, we had results. Personal. Okay. Alec, the blue line here is where the day before, where the line was Monday, is this day right next to it. And sure enough, you can see how it moved up quite smartly during the week. I'm going to actually go over here and show from the recommendations on 31 Jan. All these in green triggered and had the gain. All those in yellow were losses, and anything with a dash through it was a no trade. It didn't trigger. Well, we've got 2 losses and the rest are winners, and the winners far exceed the losers. And if you go back to the week before, the 24th of January, it was even better. So, I mean, we're on a 2-week win streak. And even with the down dip in the market, we were doing fine. Okay, so let's just look over here. Alec, EOLS didn't quite do anything. It kind of went sideways. ODT made a little bit of money. It kind of gave took a little heat, and then instead of breakout to highs. It looks like there's going to be possibly some follow through for ODT. Vista Outdoor, I was reluctant to get into that one, and it looks like it did a kind of a 30-degree angle, then pulling back. It looks a little toppy here on my stochastics RSI, so it's done probably. WVE, this was 2 weeks in a row, and I think it's basically most of the move here is done. There's not a lot of conviction in the stochastics RSI. Lots of times ETFs don't do all that well, but XBI did. A basket of biotechs. You know, we moved up here smartly on Monday and closed near the high on Friday. And the last one we had on the list of things that actually moved was Yala, and it moved out a little buy box, did a consolidation for 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then closed at the highs on Friday. Not sure if it's going to continue or not. It reports tomorrow, so you should probably have taken profits. Don't know if it's before or after the bell. I really don't like how TC2000 does that. Let's go ahead and go on over to the longs then. Go back over there. And let's do this. Abbott Labs, we talked about. AMCX. I'd let it get up over this 53.75 area or so and look for it to go up to 65. Make it prove that it wants to go higher. Right now, this was one of those, you know, run the shorts out of town, and then it pulled right on back. It was doing okay in the run up to that. So if it can get back up there, then we may go run to where the high volume area is. And let's go look at a 60-minute or even a 2-hour chart, and you'll see, let's see, 60 minutes. Yeah, here's the volume. It looks like it's going to go to almost 65. So yeah, you're talking about the kind of where the open was. BGS, I'm going to make it go up here. It may not go back up and retest the highs over here, but if it would move to 37.5 or so, I think I'd like that one. Discovery A, I am long that from Friday or Thursday, but I'm long for a couple of days now, and it closed near the highs on Friday. I'm going to watch it very closely to make sure it gets up over 44, but the 2 hour high volume is right up here at 47 or so, so I'll take that if we can get it. Fossil, the high volume area is up here around 24. Anything followed through for Friday, or a pullback into this area no lower than about 16 and a quarter, 16 and a half. Another one is Fossil. Boom, boom. And also, if you look at these, most of these have reasonably high short interest. I do know that Discovery A does, BGS does, Fossil does, 3M I think doesn't. But a lot of these came off of a list that said, hey, which ones have earnings coming up towards the end of the month but not right away, and which ones have high short interest and then are doing a J-hook. So I'm combining those. So I love 3M here, anything over Friday's high. Neptune and PTN, Neophotonics, over Friday's high. You're going to probably have some resistance here, 12 and a quarter, but maybe 1275 or so would be an area that it wants to try to get up to. High volume somewhere in this 12 and a quarter area. Yeah, that's what we were showing. This is probably one of the least strong candidates for the watch list. Orsur, OSUR, over Friday's high, looking for a move up towards 16. SL Green, SLG, looking pretty good there if it gets over the Friday high, and maybe even the Thursday high. SMAR, Smart Sheet, I think it's all-time highs. Let's look at the area chart. Yep, all-time highs, and has reasonably high short interest. Watch for follow-through. One thing, the stochastics RSI is telling us it's kind of late in the game here. SPWR, we're not late in the game in this. We did a pullback. We did a little bit of a short squeeze up here. Will it come back and retest these high volume areas or not? I'm not sure, which is why I put the buy box up here around 45. TDC reported on Friday, and it did a high wave doji. Basically has a high wick on both sides, and the body is far less than the wicks. If we can get up above the open on Friday from where we closed here, I'd be interested in buying this for a potential for a 45-degree runner. Let's go look at the area chart. And one of the problems is that we're here at 37.21. We had profit taking here, but the next area is not up till about 43 to 44. Okay, Twinkie, TWNK, short squeeze, and that was Monday here. A pullback. If we can get back up here in the $14.85 to $15 level, it might be a player there with high short interest. And Zixi, the last long here, anywhere in this box could be a buy. Look at in the area chart. The area is here, and then we've got overhead resistance in the $10 area onto Zixi. All right, let's go on over to the shorts. A little slim pickings here on the shorts, guys. Wouldn't not surprised because we've been on a tear the last few days. So Costco, let's make sure we're on a daily. Sure. Costco did a bounce. This is setting up something similar to a that right there would be a bearish flag pattern, or if you move this to a flat, that would be a pennant, a bearish pennant. So see, whichever way we draw it, this is bearish. If it gets over about 359, it's no longer bearish. It gets below 353 or so, we're probably running towards the lows over here. Let's look at the area chart on Costco. We could pull, yeah, we could pull back to the 200 period moving average. Let's see what that is. Pull this up. Yeah, if we get below 350, we'd probably got to go back and retest the 200, just for giggles, which is about where we're seeing this clump of trading going on over here. Chevron Texaco, it's also done a reversion to the mean. If we continue higher here on Monday, this week, we're not going to have it as a short, but if we can break below, say 88.45, we'll go back and retest these lows, and then we'll use that as a valuation of where we go to 78. A lot of that's going to possibly be on news of what oil does, although we're not seeing a direct correlation there. T-Mobile US, below 125, we're going to probably go back and retest the 122 level. And what's wide open for me is this area down here close to the 200. So I'm looking for a kind of a modified blue ice failure where we went. Let's get this here. Let's get red. We busted through the 50. Went back up and retested. We busted down to the 100. We went back up to the 50, and I'm now looking for it to fail and go down to around the 200. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm long term leaps with United Health. It looks like it wants to go down here and touch the 200. That's just the way it is. It gets down there and bounces and starts to go back in an uptrend. I'm probably going to add to my long on that one. Looking at a weekly chart. Weekly chart doesn't look that bad. It's at, we actually broke support here on a weekly on Friday. So it's probably heading down to this area down here at the bottom. Last one on the short list, slim pickings here, is VRSK. We went short once. It's reverted to the mean here. If we go above 190, all bets are off on shorts. But if we could roll over and continue going lower from 186, we're probably going back down and retesting the 200. And then we've got this area kind of hanging around here. If I went to a weekly, it jumps out right here around 178. Okay. All right, let's go on back to our look at the week ahead slides. There's where we are for the trade ideas. And I did say if you stuck around, there will be some specials. If you are not a member of Hit and Run Candlesticks, you can try a 30-day trial for only $49. And I'd appreciate it if you would follow this link here. I'll get a little attaboy if you do that. And here for Right Way Options, same thing. Follow this link. And Doug is probably the best options trader that I've ever run across in my entire life. Rick has been on an absolute tear for a couple of years now. Come on in and look at his Road to Wealth. It's doing fantastic, and try to learn from him and from the other traders that are in the room. All right, live trading alerts. Ed Carter, the King Daddy Rabbit developer of that. It's a professional scanning and alerting software for the retail trader. It's probably better than any commercial program that I've ever used to do scanning, primarily because we can tailor it to what we want, rather than having canned scans that show up that we may or may not be interested in. It can scan the market or your universe, whatever you want to do, and it can find exactly the right setups at exactly the right time and put them out in front of your face. Follow this link here down below with Top Gun Trading, and you can get a 14-day free trial. If you have any questions, Ed's in the LTA support room from Monday through Friday, from the market open to the close. And every Wednesday he has a class that he goes over the LTA scanner. He can answer everything in live, real time. Remember, You get a live scan of the markets for your favorite setups and patterns. Here's the free webinar, no password required. Welcome on this link right here down on the bottom, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you want to follow me, I'm on StockTwits, there, Top Gun Trading, YouTube, Top Gun Trading, email, if you have any questions or anything, topguntrading2@gmail.com. Someone who is totally inactive took Top Gun Trading and we can't get them to release it because they don't respond. And if you are interested in any potential coaching or anything like that, or talking about trading, follow right on along in here. This link will take you over in all the details of how to get in touch with me. And free consultation, no obligation. So looking forward to working with you guys. You guys be safe, be smart. Aloha.